Welcome everybody. We're going to have a little bit of a chat regarding what's going on and a little bit about V8 jet sprints. We can see a boat's just coming off the track, and so that's a slightly different class. The one we're running in front of us, we run in the unlimited class, but the boat that's just come in is a Group A boat. And while they're doing their little thing, we got to fire this 427 cubic inch supercharged V8. You'll see there's the sauce bottle. We want to reuse and recycle, so we want to be as environmentally friendly as we can, while we're using huge amounts of methanol through this methanol sucking monster of a V8 jet sprint boat. So Tim makes a bit of an appearance. Tim's the engine builder, and Tim's got all the safety gear on, and he's allowed behind the roll cage. Without the safety gear, we're not allowed behind the roll cage. And he disconnects the accessory battery, the umbilical cord that allows for better starting. Now the boat does have a battery, however it's only a little one, so we started on the trail with an extra boat with extra battery. And it seems that the last guy there had just taken a checkered flag, so we've possibly jumped forward and missed a whole lot of racing, and this is the final. Let's just watch out to the final, and we'll flip back in time. So the driver is sitting behind the steering wheel, of course, and beside him there is a navigator. We don't tend to call him a co-pilot, we tend to call him a navigator. They put out, they get into the start chute, and away they go. Now the idea of jet sprinting is to, in New Zealand, what we do is we take a very big V8 engine and we put it into a very small piece of aluminium into the boat. Of course, it's not much bigger than your bathtub. Ideally, we often end up with a ratio of 2 horsepower per kilo, which isn't unusual. And then we fire around a track that's about maybe about a metre deep all the time. Again, got a lot shallow, but about a metre deep. At speeds pretty common, between 80 to 120 km an hour is very, very normal. And it's a race against the clock and against other competitors. Hopefully during that time we can keep the boat in the water. So we're going back in time to the semi-final. Here's Louise giving our driver a safety check. Tim comes in with his sauce bottle, again recycle, reuse, and we fire that boat up. Richard Murray is in the driver's seat. He's the owner of the boat, and that's the helmet sitting down low on the left. On the right hand side of our screen we have the helmet of Dave Ellison. He's not the normal navvy, he's normally in charge of the food. Apparently he says that's his one job, but he's got multiple jobs that he performs, and today he's taken over the navigational duties because Steve was otherwise engaged. But they warm up the boat, check the steering's doing its thing. Tim does a safety check on the back of the boat, and Louise gets ready to send us off. Now it was a really big day, so we didn't get any footage earlier in the day of what was going on, but it got kind of exciting at the end because we got into the semi-finals, or the top 5. You can see the other competitors lined up on the ramp there as Richard goes out to try and keep his day's hopes alive. So we're away and we are racing. Up on the left there was the corporate boxes, and we do try to stay away from putting the boats up into the corporate area, though I have had a driver that's done that, and that kind of ended his day. So it was really nice to keep this one alive, keep this one going for the day, and keep the boat in the water. Now, just of note that we were lucky to be here at the Waitara track because a few days earlier the track was underwater. And watch this little spot here. There's the hairpin, and as you can see, Dave's hands came out to direct Richard to keep him on the right place, and he did a hairpin beautifully. That was always going to be a deciding factor of this track, and they love putting that hairpin in to test the driver's skills. The guys that get it nailed are going to be the ones that continue through the day. I think the guys were pretty happy with that run. So here we are doing the top 5 for the day. The day starts with practice. We move into some qualifying, and then we get into the top 9. Out of the top 9, the fastest 5 do the top 5, and then the top or the fastest 3 out of the top 5 will be the final. And they run in reverse order, so we were the slowest going into the top 5, so we get to run first in the top 5. Kind of an indication that it's possibly the end of our day, unless we pull off a really awesome time, or the faster competitors buckle under the pressure and don't perform well. Look at that time, 49.511. Awesome crowd here at the Waitara track. Lovely to see a good crowd. Now we're moving on to the next competitor, which happens to be Aaron Hansen. Aaron was on fire all day, absolutely hammering. In the superboat class, he's probably running one of the boats with the least horsepower. Probably not clipping over 1,000 with his innate package. But just watch what happens when he gets to this. And that's seconds worth. So I'm sitting watching. Suddenly I realise that maybe our day is going to go better than we had expected because of that almighty hairpin giving Aaron a hard time. Look at that, slower time than we did. Now the next competitor is an interesting one. Oh, I needed to clean my screen apparently. So this boat, Rob Coley, Mad Dog Coley. The boat is a work of art. HRE engine, and Rob was really having an amazing day with this thing. He was up in the pits across from us, so we could see a bit of what was going on, but it really happened to be his day. Let's see if he gets that hairpin. And he nailed it, absolutely nailed it. So let's see what sort of time he pulls off after that run, which was lightning fast. 44. He's 5 seconds faster than we are. And there was actually a rear sighting of Richard outside the boat just in front of the screen there. Now this boat, the driver Ruben doesn't quite understand the term V8 jet sprints, because his boat isn't a V8. It's only got 6 cylinders and they're not in a V, they're all in a line. He's running a 3.4 litre 2JZ turbocharged Toyota twin cam engine, 6 cylinders, all on a straight line. But he was faster than Rob Coley in the top 9 to get him into the top 5 in second place, and look at him go. He's not quite on form as he has been, and he's looking about the same pace as Richard today, so on this run. Little did we know he'd be having some engine issues. What did he get? Ever so slightly slower than us. That puts us into the top 3. Right, as you can realise that there's just those 4 drivers that I just showed, and it's the top 5. But at that point we realised that we were going to be in the top 3. So filming stops, don't get time to watch Sam and Sharma in their top 5 run, and we race back to the pits to try and get a boat ready. We don't have a lot of time to do the final prep. There was a discussion had over, oh look, Louise, just out of nowhere, she turns up to do that checking thing. Anyway, we had a discussion over what we could do to make that boat faster, make our boat faster. Well, Sam and Sharma did a 44, Rob Coley did a 44, we were running 49s. The decision was made that we probably can't on this day of time just scratch up 5 seconds out of thin air. So let's just go out, have a fun run, have a good time. And that was the decision. We weren't going to scrape up 5 seconds out of the boat, but we were still going to get on the podium. Louise finishes her check and gets ready to send the guys out. Now with jetsprints in New Zealand, we actually have 4 classes. We have a Group B, which is an NA class, multi-engine. Then we have an LS class, which is quite new, and in some rounds this year we've only had 3 competitors, but we finished the season with 4, and hopefully we're going to see some more boats in the new year. And it's a really exciting class. And there are some conditions over the build of the LS, the specifications of that engine. Then we've got the Group A's, which is a very controlled engine, small box Chev, carburetor, and then these things, unlimited, and it means what it says, it's unlimited, pretty much anything goes. We even allow ones that aren't V8s in the case of Reuben. So this is our final 3 run. And as you can see, look at their heads as that engine just torques that boat around, and Richard's trying to hold on to it. Even though, regardless of the run, we're going to hit the podium, Richard knows there's not another 5 seconds in the boat, but he gets out and he's going to have a good time, and he's going to give that crowd a good show, because they came to watch fast boats, and that's kind of a sporting thing to do. Here's that hairpin, and again, he nails it. Looking really smart. And of course, as part of the team, there's the guy that backs the boat in. There's me doing the data, and sometimes I do some videos. Sometimes I don't catch the footage, but the video is actually the secondary. The main thing is keeping that boat going. Tim is doing the adjustments on the engine and checking that side of things. There's jet units to check, and the whole team chips in. Plus there's often some extras around the edge doing some bits and pieces, so if there's anyone I missed, thanks to you guys as well. And one of the goals of Jetspring 2 is to try and put that boat back on the trailer like it is, in one piece, and that's a pretty important, that's a pretty successful day if you've got into the top 3 and you put the boat on the trailer. Look at that, there's a special little moment between the teammates as Lou gets ready to send the boat out next to us. And now there's a funny little ritual that goes on at this point, and what we'll see is the boat will get pulled out of the water. The team will exit the boat, and off will come the helmet, and then Dave is attempting to exit the boat. What he doesn't realise is, as you can see, he's tied into the boat with the communication cable. These guys can talk to each other with a radio inside the helmets, and that does make it quite difficult to exit a boat when you're still tied in with your communication device. Oh, there we go, we've got it, we're out of the boat. He's managed to escape the communication cable, and that helmet's coming off. Now Richard in the meantime's got it up on the back of the ute, so he can view the next racer that's going out onto the track. Dave's still getting his gear off, getting his helmet off, and he's brought his young fella along, who's been helping out through the day, doing what he can as well. There's always something around the jet sprint area to be done on the boat, whether it's just wiping it down, drying it off. We really don't like the boats getting wet, so we want to keep them clean and dry them off, vacuum them out. And then Richard seems to think that he's going to be a stripper, and he's getting his gear off up on the ute for everyone to see. Sorry, I don't have the appropriate music to go with this little exhibition by our driver. For those guys who want to get up and watch it, as you can see, they're like a couple of meerkats, but we can't see their faces. In fact, they've been very elusive on their faces for the whole of the day. Let's see if we can capture the face of the driver. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here, and wait a minute. Here we go. Oh, there he goes. Oh, there's that elusive driver, and he's behind the fire extinguisher. What perfect placement. He really is being very, very elusive. He kind of gets a little bit camera shy. Yeah, oh look, and he goes up and he sticks his head above the platform and back behind the fire extinguisher. I'm doing a bait. Oh, how we going? What do we got? And there he is. So this is our final, watching from outside, and this is really exciting. He's out there, he's just doing it, he's having a great time, and there's the safety crew. If you watch Star Wars, you'll notice one of the safety crew does look a little bit like Chewie. There he is, that's Chewie right there. In fact, he has Chewie on his overalls, on the safety gear. And there's the photograph man down in the front, Jeremy from Shot 360, doing the photographs, catching some action shots. And that hairpin was just exquisite. So, big move to get into the top 3. This wasn't the first time in the top 3. And look at that, there's another 49 seconds. Right, so we're going to watch the next one. Here goes Rob Coley in his boat. Now this is the top 3 final at Waitara Aqua Track in New Zealand. Absolutely on form. This boat really is a work of art. And Rob's got his wife next to him, telling him where to go. I suspect she tells him where to go, not just in the boat as well at times. And here comes that hairpin, and look at that, look how that was done. And this boat really is absolutely lightning fast. Huge power, twin turbo, and gorgeous to watch. What did he get? 44.61. Right, there's the boat that we didn't get to watch in the top 5 because we had to focus on work, and we actually come along to have a fun day out and actually do some work, which is what it's all about as well. But this is Sam and Sharma. Lovely, lovely boat. Beautiful prep. And Sam drives the nuts off it. Again, NA, no turbochargers, down in power compared to some of the other boats, but Sam can just absolutely drive, and Sharma knows exactly how to tell Sam where to go. Just absolutely lovely to watch. So what sort of time do they get? 44.564, which puts Sam and Sharma. Where is Sam? Sam, get back there. Sam and Sharma on the top of the podium. Rob and Ange in second, and Richard and Dave in third place. What a day's racing. Really successful. Now we've got one more round left in Monaco for the season. Hope to catch you there, and we'll see you again soon.